MacGyver.
Hi, I'm MacGyver. You wanted me to kill all interceptors. It was top of your list for things that you wanted me to kill. So today, that's what I'm going to do. Kill all interceptors. I'm in a Thrasher and I'm using the fit that I was using to kill a Steros, because the thing that they have in common with interceptors is they're tiny. They've got tiny signature radiuses. And I need to use a target painter to make it bigger, and I need to track them like a beast because they're fast. So I'm sitting on Jita at the docking point, waiting for any unfortunate ship to land a bit short so I can try and shoot it and blow it up. And I've got a feeling that the Tornado is going to prove to be a terrible ship to do this with, so I might have to swap out for something else. So I'm in position. I've switched out my looter to something a little quicker, because if any interceptors are autopiloting, I want to be able to nip down and grab the loot. And I am fully boosted, so we'll see if we can get any of these little speedy critters. Now my overview is set up to just interceptors, so we'll see them as they come in and also as they undock. But I think shooting them on the undock might be a bit too tricky because of the angle that we'll be at. But there's a stiletto, which is an interceptor, and that is undocking right over the other side. You can see how fast it warps away there. Very quick little ships. This interceptor's come in, but it's landed too far there, so it's actually ready to dock instantly. Whereas you can see here that this Nemesis has landed the other side, so if it was to kill all Nemesis, then he'd be dead. Now there's a Malediction coming in. And it's that quick that I hit that as soon as it was locked, and it still didn't take off. Maybe next time. Now I've seen quite a few interceptors coming in, but they're not coming to the docking point. They've all got bookmarks set, which is really good practice. And I've actually done a video about setting bookmarks so you don't just warp to the station and land where I can kill you. And it seems like there's lots of people taking that advice and practicing it. There's a raptor, but again, just can't get luck quick enough. Yeah, got him. So let's just have a look at the loot. And someone else got the loot before me, so let's get a little look at what that kill was. It was empty. So first interceptor killed. It can be done. The good thing is we have caused a loot thief to lose 15 minutes of their time. I've got the loot from my Tornado, and we're off the mark, 1 for 1. And as fits go, I mean, that's clearly a travel scepter. Less than 20 million, so that loot thief, he's lost 15 minutes. So everyone's a winner. So I'm back in position and looking out for more targets. This target painter is great. The thing that helps out an interceptor is the fact that it's so small. So its signature radius is tiny, which means that it's very difficult to hit. But what a target painter does is increase that by a massive amount, which means it's a lot easier to hit it. Effectively makes it bigger to the guns, therefore easier to hit. More of your damage is going to get on your target. And when you're using large guns on a small target, you really need that. And that goes for PvE as well. If you're doing like a level 4 mission, for example, but you're doing it in a battleship, it's going to take you forever to lock the frigates, and the frigates can be the nastiest. They can have the scrams on there that can stop you from getting away. So you can use a target painter so your guns can hit them. Otherwise, large guns might not be able to hit these frigates, but usually you would take drones to take care of the frigates in missions like that. But even then it helps. If you've got drones attacking little fast frigates and there's a target painter on them, it'll help immensely. One of the reasons I don't get involved with things like people who are suspect, apart from the fact it could be a scam, is that the ammo that I'm using here is Domination EMP, and it's expensive. So I only load in one round, because you don't get two shots at something in Jita, especially not in a tornado. So what I don't want to be in is in a position where I've taken a shot at somebody who's maybe suspect, and then I've got to redock and then get more ammo and then get myself back into position and whatnot. Here to shoot interceptors. So there's 3 of the Fury bots out at the moment, and they're right at the docking point, and they're wreaths. The wreaths are cheap. They're tanked up. They've got loads of shield, and also they're large. So if you've got a wreck and a large ship, then it is only going to be a few meters away from either side of the ship, and he's got 3 of them there. If you saw the last video that I did, you saw that I caught footage of 2 of the bots scooping loot of stuff that I killed, and I reported it to CCP. I sent them the details to the security team. I sent them a link to the exact parts of the video and a bit of history about it as well, names of the pilots, the links to the kills, and I got a response from CCP to say that they're going to look into it, which is not something that we've ever had before when we've been reporting this for years, and it's a hugely positive step in addressing these bots. There was somebody left a comment on the last YouTube video, which was they thought it was very unfair that I did all the hard work of killing these ships and getting the wrecks, and somebody just came along and stole the loot with no effort, just programming. And I had to say, well, I'm shooting other people here. Don't feel sorry for me, because someone else has done all the hard work to get all the hard money to get that valuable cargo into the ship. So it's just another link in the chain. The difference being that what I do, what all the other gankers do, and what the people who are flying the ships do is all legitimate and within the rules, whereas automation's not quite like that. Now, I mentioned not wanting to get involved with shooting oranges and whatnot, but you get some ships that just sit around with kill rights on them, which have been put on by their alts, and then they just wait for people to pay and activate them. And they always make a profit because the ships that they're out with have either got really cheap mods on it or they're really cheap ships. And they just sit there. They're just basically getting paid to sit there, and then someone will activate a kill right. And that's exactly what's happened here with this mammoth. So you can see someone's paid for the kill right, and they're about to make him pop. But he'll be back out later with another kill right, just to sit out there. But that's the kind of kill I don't want to get involved with. There's no merit to a kill mail like that. There's certain kill mails that do have merit, probably the majority of them, but there's some that just don't, and that one doesn't. There are a couple of pilots, even a couple of corps, that fly around Jita and they just buy kill rights. I know that there's at least a couple of pilots go through my Z kill board to look at people that I've killed, and they write begging emails to them to say that they will pay for the kill right that the pilot has on me. And the amount that they pay for that kill right is almost always more than the value of my ship. And most of the time it's my alt that gets the loot from my ship, so they don't even make money back that way. I mean, most of my Thrashers that I'm ganking with are like 12 to 15 million each, and they're paying 20, 30 million for a kill right. So if you see somebody's Z kill and a lot of it's in Jita and it's against people who are gankers, I would question that. That isn't PvP, and there's no merit in that. So someone's trying to sell you themselves as a good pilot because of their Z kill, and they've got these kills on it. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Z kills quite often. Z kill board is a website, in case you don't know, where they pull the kill mails from EVE Online as they happen, and then they display it in a way where you can click through and see different pilots, different systems, different ship types, different items that are dropped, but it's only for pilots where either someone involved with the kill or the target is registered with said kill. So from the outset, it's not a full picture of everything that goes on. Now, if I had my Thrasher out, this is the kind of pilot I would love to shoot. Just going along in a shuttle with the name Jita Trader 2. I did a guide on how to avoid being ganked, and one of the things that I said was don't put the name Trade in your name. It just instantly attracts the eye of a ganker. Now here's a Raptor coming in, and he's autopiloting, so we'll definitely get an opportunity to hit him. And I might even just get my looter to go nearer him. Ah, just missed him. Not good enough. So I got 1198, and you can see that it was almost through the hull of the Raptor, but just not good enough. I think he was just moving a little bit too fast. So time to dock up and get a new tornado after my criminal timer and get back out. So the problem with that kill was that it glanced, which meant that the tracking wasn't good enough. Even though I've got the tracking mods on my ship and I've got a boost here which helps my tracking, it's still not enough. The kind of gameplay that I do means that implants aren't really feasible unless they're cheap and you factor them into the targets that you're going to shoot at. There is another option, which is drugs, and this is what I'm looking at. This cost 8 million ISK or thereabouts, and what it does is it gives me a tracking speed bonus of an extra 31%, which is huge. I would imagine that that would be enough to have made a difference with that last kill. It's got a turret fall off penalty of 25%, but there's a chance of getting that. That's not definite that you would get that penalty. It's to do with your neurotoxin skills, that they decrease the chance of you getting it and they decrease the effectiveness of the penalty. Well, I grew up with a message of just saying no to drugs, but I need to do it. So it tells me that the drug will go for an hour. I've got an armor repair penalty, which doesn't bother me in the slightest. So all we need now is a target. My optimal range hasn't been affected by the drugs. Are my pupils dilated? Just a couple of minutes to go until downtime, but gankers never rest. You do wonder if sometimes people think that this might be a safer time to try and sneak stuff through because the gankers will just be logging off, or try to log on quickly after downtime to see if you can sneak stuff in. But the gankers know about this. And you might find that the gankers are some of the first ones back on after downtime. Certainly the bots come on fairly quickly. So downtime's been and gone, but the bots are logging back on. You can see the Furies just landing here. And they will be here for another 24 hours. And they'll be here until next downtime. They'll just be here all the time. 3 characters able to loot in under 1.9 seconds for 24 hours. I had somebody suggest to me that that was possible for a human to do. He's a malediction, but you can see the problem is here. He's not moving towards me or away from me. It's this angle here. And he's got his micro warp drive on. If I shot him, it would cause no damage whatsoever, but I would still get concorded. Now that Stiletto is moving in a straight line away from me, so I think he's a potential target there. And if he stops still, that would be even better. So let's just keep an eye on him, see what he's going to do. Let's go for it. Yep. Now watch what happens to the wreck. It is wrecked. It was looted by Grizgy Fury. Almost instantly. Did you see that? That's the same pilot who scooped the loot when I shot the Ostero. So that's like less than 2 seconds. And like I say, he didn't know I was going to shoot. Let's have a look and see what I killed. He was completely empty. But if you look at what he was doing, he was scanning ships for their cargo. And we can see that because he had the cargo scanner, he had sensor boosters, and he had the rigs, which decrease the amount of time it takes to get the result of a cargo scan. So he is actually, rather than being a ganker's target, he is clearly scanning for a ganker. So I think I've done a little good for the universe there, by killing a ganker's aid. But it's another interceptor and you wanted me to kill them, so what's that, number 2? 2! Yay! So it turns out that the guy that I shot at earlier but didn't kill, the one I got through to half hull, was a ganker. And the one that I just shot and killed there is also a ganker. So people did want me to kill all gankers, and this is inadvertently turning into exactly that. See who we kill next. Sometimes you've just got to shoot somebody. And if it's someone that's bumping your looter, then that's a good enough reason, isn't it? We'll just see what this guy does. He's been bumping my looter. Is he completely still? He is. Now he's completely dead. That should have been part of the kill all Asteros. But you don't bump a ganker's looter. It's just a no-no. There's a Gnosis pilot here called Ion Games, and I think I'm confusing him somewhat. I've got him set red because he likes to interfere with ganking. There's him and a couple of other pilots. They've all got the names in big capital letters as well. And what he likes to do is hang around the gate, if I'm on the gate, and try and scram my looter, or he's got another ult that shoots the wrecks as well. And people like that, they get one shot, because obviously I don't know what they're going to do until they do it. So if they kill my looter or something, it only happens once, and then I've got to adapt my setup to take into account this potential threat. But he can see me here, and he's brought out a Gnosis, and he's sitting on the docking point here. He obviously doesn't know what I'm doing either, but he assumes. And here's his ult, SQTR. These two are anti-gankers, so they think that I'm trying to gank here for profit. But he's actually bumped his own pilot away. So we're talking about elite PvP pilots here. But there are some pilots that whatever I do, they come along and then they cling on and they try and affect things. And fair play to them. If they think that I'm going to give them content within the game, then that's what EVE's about, is getting content, isn't it? But they're not going to get anything here. They're against 3 of the fastest bots in the game. And I'm not even shooting for profit here. I don't even have a cargo scanner on board. Now the other issue here is that one of the pilots that I shot earlier put a 30 million kill rate on me. And that's just enough for someone to want to pay. And I'm being targeted here by a pilot called Red Rush. And I'm wondering if he's just thinking of activating the kill rate. So what I want to do is make sure that my own ult is right next to me, so I can scoop the loot if he does kill me. So it's getting a bit hectic. There's a few different people here that are threatening to get involved with what I'm doing. But this is what happens, isn't it? It's not just from being a ganker in high sec that you draw attention. It's because of the YouTube videos that attracts people. They're here thinking that I'm going to shoot something that's worth a lot and they'll be able to steal it. Where in reality I just want to shoot I just want to shoot interceptors. There's another one of the Furies up there on the station at the undock point. So anywhere where there's a bunch of ships that are likely to be shot, these scumbags are around. So I've decided to try a change of scene. It's true that on a station you'll have an opportunity, a very small window to get almost any interceptor pilot, but we could also see it wasn't really working. And the tornado is a bit hit and miss as well. So I'm switching to a gate. I'm going to focus on AFK interceptors, interceptors who autopilot. And also while I'm here, I'm going to scan other stuff and see if we can get some decent kills. But I'm not forgetting that the bottom line here is kill all interceptors. This is one of my favourite gates. It's really relaxing to pitch up at this gate, because it doesn't have other gates around it, doesn't have an awful lot of traffic from stations just above the gate. So anything that appears on your overview is just coming to this gate, or it's leaving it. There's nothing else here. But it is just one jump from Jita, so it's relatively busy. In some ways I think it's a bit easier to kill here as well, because Jita is absolutely hectic, it's madness. And that does slow things down a bit. If you're out here, then people have left Jita and perhaps they're thinking it's a little safer, a little sense of security about what's happening. And that's something that obviously I can take advantage of. Now you see that sometimes a shuttle jumps through and it doesn't warp off. I should never be able to scan a shuttle, ever. But there you go, it happens, and every now and then you get a really good kill in a shuttle because someone's just jumped through and they're not paying attention. The other thing out here is that there are far fewer loot thieves. You have to keep checking though, because there's fewer, but there's not none. But there's nothing that appears to be automated here. And there's no other gankers. The other reason it might make more sense to wait here is because I think there were far more people undocking in interceptors. So they were probably going there to buy them. This catches them on the way back out. And here's a crow. So we'll just give him a rude awakening. And there he is. One dead crow. So there's probably not much to it. Nope, it's just a travel crow. But it's another dead interceptor. Kill them all. So just looking at the fit of this crow, he's just got fireworks on board. A bit of shield, dual prop, inertia stabilizers, so if he wasn't autopiloting, I never would have had a chance to kill this lady. But that's a reason why not to autopilot, is that they're all trigger happy lunatics out there who'll happily shoot you even if you've got nothing on board. But then that's exactly what you asked me to do. So I'm back out, all good to go. No harm done. And I'm quite happy to scan other ships as they go by as well. I mean, what was the expression? Never look a gift horse in the mouth. And here's a malediction with the word trader in the name as well. And he is empty. Oh. And he's got a shield. Oh dear. Dear. So the message there is don't autopilot, but if you have to autopilot, give yourself a bit of a tank there. And that guy's just gained a couple of kill rights, which if he's wise enough, he'll cash in on. I'm going to need to calculate at the end of this video whether I've killed more interceptors or my own ships. Because that could double up as kill all gankers. If I've ended up killing more Magaibo ships than interceptors. So there's an interceptor Tyrannus. So let's just see if we can pop him. Nope. He didn't go. He didn't pop, although he was close. I think Magaibo was close to getting a second shot off there, which would have done it. So I just got the one shot off there with Magaibo. Substantial amount, but sometimes you get the second shot off and it didn't happen. Concord got there too quickly. So I've done a little tweak to my fit because I'm not scanning anything. So I'm switching out for 3 sensor boosters. I've swapped the rigs for, well, damage rigs effectively. I'm putting in a drop booster to help with the tracking as well. I would imagine that if I've got 2 of those, there'll not be an interceptor will be able to get by me if it's autopiloting. Let's give it a try. So I'm good to go. 2 Thrashers with the new fit. Both pilots have got the drop booster. So now I'm just waiting for an interceptor to come my way. One thing you might not know is that you can actually see when somebody scans a ship. And that's because a line comes out from him and goes to the ship that's being scanned. So it's a bit of a giveaway. I can see exactly who's scanning and who isn't on a gate. Something to keep an eye out for. It's a good way of maybe guessing as to whether or not a gank is active as well. So I've put in a cargo scanner in one of the ships just because I was getting bored of doing nothing. And after I've done that, I found a Synesis that's just sitting here with 256 mil on board. But this is the thing, is if you're going to shoot something like that, you really have to get to your optimals. And in that time, it could well be the case that the pilot becomes more aware and flies away, and that's just what happened there. But I swapped out one of the sensor boosters that I mentioned there for a cargo scanner. So because there was no interceptors coming for such a long time, about an hour now. I hope you guys appreciate the lengths that I'm going to try and kill all interceptors, because the reason I'm killing interceptors is because it was the top of a pool of ships that you wanted me to kill. And the ones that do come are flying straight to the gate. There's a skill called survey, and what that does is it speeds up the amount of time it takes you to get a cargo scan result. And on top of that, the Thrasher that I normally use to kill corvettes has got rigs on it that speed up the cargo scanning time even more. When I was ganking the first few years, I never picked up on this survey skill, and I was scanning ships at the slowest rate possible, and I don't know how I ever caught anything, but I did. I got enough to keep me going for years. But it makes a difference. It makes such a difference that when I go back to using the Thrasher here, which has rigs for damage rather than scan speed, it is really noticeable how much slower it is. Now there's a Raptor. He's jumped through and he's not warped off, so we'll just give it our best shot. And look at that, he's too far out from the optimals, and from what I can see, he was empty as well. So if I'd taken the time to get to my optimals, I might have done better, but you could see that he had a decent shield tank there as well. Damn, this is difficult, killing all interceptors. So this has been by far the most difficult kill all video that I've done yet. Sitting on the gate, it just got far too quiet. So even though I gave this a try before, it seems like the place where I may just after all have the most chance. And the undock at Jeter is the busiest place in New Eden. It's not the best place for me because things move a bit too quickly and there's an awful lot going on. But I want to end this video with at least another couple of kills. So wish me luck, here we go. Now the thing about the undock here is it goes from here to here, so there isn't really a perfect place. So what I've tried to do is sit in the front, so if anything comes out here, like that crucifier there, then it would be at 32 kilometers, which is my optimal's 36, so it's the good place to be. But what I've also got to be aware of is I've got a 30mm kill rate on me. I do have a looter there, but because of where I am, I'm kind of accepting that I'm not going to be able to loot anything. So here's an Ares. But it was docking, so it was completely the wrong angle. So let's see if I even got any hit. I mean, that's just utter frustration that's caused me to do that. Yeah, so it missed them completely. He was moving at the wrong angle, and I don't know. I'm kind of lost. I'm not sure what I should be doing here. No, I don't think sitting in front of that station. Thinking again, I don't think it's going to work, because if something's coming directly towards you, then that's fine. But look at this. This is where they'll undock from, and they'll be coming towards you from, not even coming towards you, but going straight at different angles. So there's always going to be an angle, unless it's right ahead of you, and it's very low chance of that. And then also you've got people coming in to dock on this side, and that's completely wrong. And that's where I just tried to shoot. That was like tiny ship, 90 degrees to me, just moving quickly and turning on a dime. Oh, I think I'll give it one more chance, one more try. So I've moved around to the other side of the docking point, so I'm basically behind where the ships are going to be as they come in. And if I just look at the docking point here, we can see that there's 4 automated looters on. And we'll see if we pop something and it drops something, we might be able to get more footage of them looting their X. Now this malediction here is completely still. Which is perfect. I'm just going to bring my looter up next to him. Just moving a little bit closer. And then I'm going to stop completely still and just hope that this guy doesn't move. There we go, my ship's stopping. This should be it. So there we go. Your final interceptor. Thank the Lord. And basically it was delivered on a plate. He was just sitting there, and we'd be able to judge from his fit what he was doing. That isn't a normal interceptor's behaviour. I think an interceptor doing what it normally does, I wouldn't be able to kill it. It's almost identical to the one that we killed earlier, which is empty but festival launchers up front. And the one I just killed, festival launcher. This is kill all firework display ships. I think this has been a very poor show for both me and the people that I've killed. But we've got to the end of the video. It's been a long path, and I'm glad you were by my side. It's been a struggle. It's been a terrible experience, and I'm glad, I'm over the moon, delighted, ecstatic that it's over. and that we never have to do this again. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye now.